Welcome everybody to today's stream. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today's stream is a onboarding and a ask us anything. We'll get started here shortly in the next few minutes. If you guys, of course, have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the chat box, and we'll be able to address your questions. Give me 1 second. Just got everything. Cool. Yeah, we'll get started here in the next minute or so. I hope everyone's having a great day. Of course, we do these streams every Friday on the US side, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So these are beginner focused streams. We will have intermediate streams in the near future. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a great Friday. We already have a question. Ron Hart, yes, sir. I just want to check my 24 word private code for my Nano S Plus. Ron Hart, I think you want to check if the recovery phrase you written down on the recovery sheet is associated with your device. Of course, you can check that in Ledger Live. There's going to be an app in the My Ledger tab. It's called the Recovery Check app. Go there, download the app. You'll be able to check your app check your recovery phrase that way. But yeah. Make sure you guys ask any questions. Of course, we do have some mods in the chat that will be able to address your guys' question. Yeah, we'll get started here in probably 2 more minutes. Of course, today we're going to be doing the Nano X. Or actually, we have the Nano X and Nano S Plus. Let me know which you guys want. We can do the Nano X. The only difference between these two devices really is going to be the Bluetooth capabilities. Obviously, for today's stream, we won't be doing a Ledger Live mobile setup. But with Ledger Live Mobile, you will be using the X. But yeah, we can either do the S Plus or the X. Ron, I know you mentioned the S Plus, so we might just do the S Plus for today's stream. Cool. Mike Mean, what's up, Mike? Hello, my friend. I need that Arweave Ledger Live support. Yeah, let me check on Arweave for you real quick. See. Arweave. Yes, we do not support it yet. No ETA, but hopefully we do support that in the near future. Definitely pass that feedback along. Thanks, Recovery app and Ledger app. Cool, thank you, sir. Okay, yep, no problem, Ron. But yeah, let's just get started. Today we're going to be doing the S Plus. Courtesy to Ron, he mentioned S Plus, so we're just going to do S Plus. So of course, let me change the shot so you guys can get a better view. Lighting is not the greatest, but we'll work with what we have. All right, so the Nano S Plus, this is what it'll come with. The back, of course, just giving you some details of the device. Right, when you get your device, it should always come like paper wrap, right? It should not come open, of course. So let's unpackage or unbox this. No problem, Mike. I'll just change my shot. So of course, open it real quick. So when you guys open the device, it's gonna come with some important notes. Or important box content. Let me show you guys that. So of course, smartest way to secure bind for your crypto. Make sure you guys read through that. You guys open it. Standard Ledger box. Pretty simple. You guys open it. It's gonna give you guys trust yourself. And behind it, get the device itself and the recovery sheet. All right, guys. So as far as the recovery sheet goes, this step is very important. Of course, when you buy a Ledger device, we usually give you guys 3 recovery sheets. Open to show you guys how that looks. So these recovery sheets are going to be very important. It's going to be paramount to your crypto when it comes to securing your crypto assets, right? The reason why is the main reason why you want to keep this recovery sheet safe, offline. You don't want to take a picture of it. You don't want to do what I'm doing, streaming it, is because the 24 words is basically your master key to all your assets on the blockchain, right? Ledger derives the security from 2 things. First, it's going to be the generation of the recovery phrase completely offline, right? The second thing is it secures your private keys. Okay, so with the recovery phrase, like I mentioned earlier, right, it basically allows you to, how do I give you guys an analogy? A real world analogy is, think of it as kind of like your house keys, right? Think of all your assets in your house, like your car keys, furniture, electronics, right? Your recovery phrase is the same way, right? If someone had access to your recovery phrase, they would be able to access all your assets across all chains, right? Same thing applies to the real world. If someone had your house keys, they can access your furniture, your electronics, anything like that, right? So it's very important to understand how recovery phrases work. I'll also show you guys how to set up your device safely, right? So recovery sheet here, you're gonna get 3. Make sure you guys read through this. Make sure you guys understand Ledger does not store any private information. All right, guys. So basically, if you ever lose your 24 words, there would be no way for us to recover your assets. There are some good alternative physical backup options, like I mentioned before. You never want to put your recovery phrase anywhere online. Let me see if I can show you guys that some backup alternatives, right? So we have a few here. I'm not going to go too in depth into it, but these are some good options, of course. So we got this crypto tag Zeus and crypto steel capsule, and we also have a bill file too. Basically, these are all physical backup options, right? You don't want to put your recovery phrase offline, so the best option is physical, right? Physical metal plates. And the reason why, you may be asking, why would I want to invest in one of these backup alternatives? The reason why is this paper, right? Although it feels pretty high quality. If there's a fire or a flood, God forbid, if anything happened, right, it can be, damaged and ripped apart. Whereas a metal plate, these are basically disaster proof, right? So take a look. They're all on our site if you guys want to check those out. Cool. Moving along. Let's get set up. For the new people in here, yep. For those new people in here, you guys may have a question regarding the Nano S Plus and if it works with no USB connection. Unfortunately, you will need to plug your USB cable in, the USB cable that comes with the device, of course. Show you guys, when you guys unbox it, you guys will get ledger.com start. And you guys will also get a keychain and a USB cable. So for those of you guys who want to use Ledger Live Mobile, I know we have quite a few of mobile users, and some people don't want to use Ledger Live Desktop. The Ledger X would probably be a better fit for you. But for those of you guys who are using that, who are fine using desktop, the Nano S Plus should be perfectly fine. All right, so let's move on to the setup process. Cool, Nate. Appreciate it. So, of course, let's connect. We have our cable here. The thing I like about the S Plus is it's very, I would say, I think it's a best bang for your buck option, right? It's $80. It works perfectly the same as the Nano X. Like I mentioned, only difference is going to be Ledger Live Mobile. Okay. So let's get going with the setup. Let me plug this in real quick. All right. So you guys can see here, you plug it in, it turns right on. Okay. So it's going to say, welcome to Ledger Nano S Plus. Press right button to continue. Download Ledger Live. Of course, Ledger Live is our native software that allows you to visualize all your assets across all the chains that we support and manage those assets, right? So I'll show you guys more on that in a bit here. So it says press both buttons to select, hold both buttons, start Ledger Live, set up as new device, restore from recovery phrase. So these two options right here, as you guys can see, set up as new device and restore from recovery phrase. These two options are going to be very important. If you're a new user, you're going to want to click this option, right? If you are somebody that already has a 24-word recovery phrase that has been generated from a previous ledger, let's say you're upgrading. I know a lot of users are upgrading from the S to the S Plus due to memory capacity issues. Then you would select this option. like I mentioned before, you never want to enter your recovery phrase anywhere online. The only place you should ever enter your recovery phrase is on the Ledger device itself, right? When you put your recovery phrase online, like anywhere, like a notepad, picture on your phone, like through iCloud storage, it leaves a vector of attacks for your recovery phrase. So for today's stream, we're going to do setup as new device, and we are going to set up a Ledger device, all right? So, of course, some of you guys, if you guys hold both buttons here, it's not going to go through, right? So when you guys are doing that step, you just want to press both buttons, right? You don't want to hold. When you hold, you will be prompted to the control center. As far as the pin goes, you can choose pins anywhere from 4 to 8 digits. For today's stream sake, we're just going to make it quick and simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you guys don't use this pin. The reason why you guys don't want to use this pin is it's very, it's easily guessed, right? So if the thing about Ledger is we have a very cool security mechanism built into our devices. So if anyone ever stole your device and they're trying to access it, they only have 3 chances, right? So if your pin's 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 4 times, and they put in the pin, they can access your device, right? But after 3 tries, the device essentially wipes itself. It's called a factory reset. What that does is it wipes the device clean and gets you back to this setup process or the restore from recovery phrase step that I showed you guys earlier. All right. So of course, we're just gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. When you confirm, you're just gonna press both buttons at the same time, as you guys can see. 3, 4. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. This step is very important. This step right here, make sure you guys have the recovery sheet and you guys write it down correctly, right? Like I mentioned earlier, Ledger does not store any private information, personal information as far as your recovery phrase goes. So, like I said, if you lost it, we would have no chance to recover, help you recover your assets, right? So, like it says, it's basically your only backup to restore accounts if needed. Yeah, let's just continue. With these words here, all the words, some of you guys may have questions on how are these words generated. It's generated through RNG. All these words are going to be on the BIP39 list. You guys can search more on that. I'm not going to go too in depth because it is a beginner stream. But yeah, all these words are going to be on the BIP39 list, randomly generated. So let's go through it. Reveal. Okay, reveal. Reveal. Cram. Oh, and I'm going to go through this step pretty quick. Of course, if you guys are just setting up, feel free to take your time, pause the video, and of course, play back, right? So this stream will be published, and you guys can play back this stream at like a slower pace. And another question that sometimes arises when setting this up, as you guys can see, I kind of messed up here. But a question that arises is, can a word be, the same word be used in the 24-word recovery phrase? The answer is yes. It kind of makes your recovery phrase unique. But as you guys can see, I kind of didn't take my time. So that's a perfect example right there. You guys can see I wrote it down vertically. When the recovery sheet, you have to actually write it down like left to right. You guys can see, right? This cram should be 2. So I messed up. No worries though. And that's why I was saying you guys got to be very careful when you guys write down the 24-word recovery phrase, right? So we'll just go back and we'll set it up again. Okay. See, when you guys kind of go too quick, error usually arises. So just take your time with this. This step is very important. Deal. Ram. Oh. Keep. Yep, Kyle made a great point there on resellers. Whenever you guys get a Ledger device, like I said, make sure you guys set up the recovery phrase on the device itself, right? Don't use, like, let's say you got a sheet and it says this is your recovery phrase, make sure you discard that recovery phrase and factory reset your device, right? So make sure you guys are doing what I'm doing minus the recording online. Okay, you guys always want to generate it from the device itself. You guys never want to use a pre-generated recovery phrase or the device has already been set up. Make sure you guys reset the device. Okay, we do also have a genuine check that will check if the firmware or anything has been tampered with. For those of you guys who have bought our Ledger devices on their resellers or third parties. Okay, and I'm good. All right, so we have the first 12 word set. Next word is going to be marine. Y'all the best. Thanks for the kind words, Ron. You take care. If you have any questions, feel free to come back. Surface or trumpet. All. And I think in the near future, I will show you guys how to move assets from an exchange to your Ledger wallet address and incorporate that in the more beginner-friendly streams such as this one. Of course, near the end of the stream, I will be able to address you guys' question. We have Kyle in the chat, so if you guys have any questions, don't be shy to ask. We'll be glad to address your guys' question, all right? So, keep it going, chunk. So, all right, so I've securely written down my 24 words. Next step is a verification process. We're just going to confirm that our words are indeed written down correctly, okay? So let's get through that. All right, first word, reveal. Cram, poem, keep, number, swear, merge, net, bed, sand, pumpkin, surface, door, trumpet, alcohol. And of course, guys, do not use these 24 words. They have been exposed to the internet. If you guys use them, someone will most likely drain your funds. Okay, so keep that in mind. Just pin it into your brain that your recovery phrase is paramount to everything, right? If anything happened to your recovery phrase, the person could basically drain everything, right? So as long as you keep it offline, you should be good for the most part. Obviously, there's some other vectors of attack that we will address later. Transfer, chunk. So, okay, so boom. Your recovery phrase is set. Keep it in a secure place, okay, guys? So, of course, like I said, if lost, stolen, there's nothing we can do. Yeah, so let's get going. I'm going to press both buttons to continue. Device is processing. Cool. So it says your device is ready. And now we're going to go to the dashboard. All right. So now our device is ready. This is going to be the next step. The next step is downloading Ledger Live. Ledger Live is our native software. Let me switch over to Chrome here so you guys can see. Okay. So when you guys are downloading Ledger Live, the best possible practice is always going to be going to ledger.com directly. All right. You don't want to, search up Ledger Live on Google and run into a web application, a scam application, right? Like I mentioned before, Ledger employees or Ledger will never ask for any personal information. So make sure you're in a Ledger Live software that's asking for your recovery phrase, back out of there. Okay. So of course, best practice, go to ledger.com, go to apps and services, and Ledger Live. When you're here, you guys are going to be able to update your app as well as download the app. All right. So once you download the app, let's go to Ledger Live real quick. Let me do this. Second here. Okay. Of course, make sure you select the corresponding operating system. We do have some technical requirements. So if you are on a outdated Windows version or Mac version, you may not be able to run Ledger Live. Okay, so make sure you guys read on the requirements. Now, when you are done downloading Ledger Live, this is what you're gonna get. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on Get Started. And for today's video, we do have the S plus. So we're gonna click select, and you guys are gonna get a few options. The first option is it's gonna say first time using your Nano S plus. If you're watching the stream with me, or you're watching the stream, I'm gonna guide you guys through everything, so you guys don't have to click on this option. You guys can just click directly on this option down here. It's gonna say connect your Nano S plus. Okay. Once you guys click your Nano this option, it's gonna give you guys a genuine check. Like I mentioned earlier before, this basically what this does is it checks if the firmware or anything has been tampered with as far as Ledger device goes. Okay, so you guys are gonna click check my Nano. It's gonna do a quick check on the device itself. Let me show you guys what it's gonna ask you to do. It's gonna ask you to allow the Ledger Manager. Okay, so when you allow the Ledger Manager, it will proceed with a genuine check. It says all good, your Ledger Nano S Plus genuine, ready to use with Ledger Live. Okay, so we're gonna click continue. And when you guys are here, the first step or the first thing I want you guys to do is go to My Ledger. Even those of you guys who are in here who have already set up your Ledger device, make sure you guys go and check out the My Ledger tab. We do have some new firmware updates for the Nano X. It's going to be 2.1.0. The previous latest version was 2.0.2. Obviously, this Nano S Plus, we have to update as well. The Nano S Plus, the latest version is 1.1.0. Okay, so in terms of app functionality and device functionality, you guys want to be on the latest version firmware. Okay, so let's just update the firmware real quick before we get going. Okay, so basically, it's gonna tell you what's the notes, the patch notes for the firmware. Make sure you guys have your recovery phrase, of course, because sometimes when you update the firmware, it might factory reset the device. Okay, so and if you guys are not sure, feel free to reach out to us, Ledger support, and we'll be able to address your guys' question. Okay, or address your guys' question regarding the update. Okay, so we're gonna click continue. We're gonna update the firmware. Just gonna take a few minutes here. You have a few questions in the chat. Ricardo Texture, that's a great question you asked. When you self custody stake, there's always going to be smart contract risks, but in terms of like if anything happened, right, it's all going to be on the contract itself, right? So I would say not financial advice or not investment advice. I would say it's safer, and you're getting better rates than staking through an exchange. Okay, so new firmware, you guys can see. New firmware, confirm update, press both buttons. It's going to take a minute. It's just going to update. Okay, so, and as you guys can see in Ledger Live, this is what you see. On the device itself, this is what you see. Okay, it's just going to prompt. Of course, we have a new pin dashboard. So we're just going to enter a pin, 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. Boom. All right, so now we're all sorted. Navigate back to Ledger Live. As you guys can see, firmware updated. It's going to click close. It's going to refresh, and we're going to see that we're on the latest version. Okay, so of course, allow Ledger Manager on your device. Every time you guys go to the My Ledger tab, you will have to approve this on your device, and I'll show you guys what I mean. You guys will have to approve this prompted message every time. Okay. We're gonna double click to approve it, and boom, we're in. Now we can download any apps, any apps you want. Let's download Bitcoin, Ethereum. For those of you guys who are new, Bitcoin and Ethereum are very important apps that you probably want to install on your device, even though let's say you're not using Ethereum and you're on other ETH parent accounts. What I mean by that is other EVM chains. So For example, if you want to interact with anything on BNB or Polygon, you'll most likely, or you'll 100% need the ETH app downloaded. Okay, so we downloaded these two apps. I'll add the accounts here in a second, but before I do that, I just want to explain to you guys, make sure you guys update the firmware. That's the first step when it comes to setting up your Ledger device, as well as those new people that are in here that already have Ledger device. Make sure you guys just go here. We have we released the new firmware a few days ago, so make sure you guys get updated and everything will be squared away. Of course, My Ledger tab. This will allow you to download apps, uninstall apps, check on the app version. Okay, so the next thing is we're gonna go to portfolio. Okay, so this tab, we'll have to add our account. So let's add our Ethereum account. And of course, guys, this is a new Ledger device, right, with a newly generated recovery phrase. So there's not going to be any funds to it. I will connect one of my work ledgers and show you guys how funds or how assets or tokens and NFTs look in Ledger Live. Okay. Cool. And of course, we do have a sync issue with the latest version of Ledger Live, and it's going to take a while for our accounts to sync. Unfortunately, we're working on a fix. We've identified the problem. We're working on a fix. The workaround for this, if you guys are in here and having sync issues, is to downgrade to version 2.52. Okay, so it's just going to take a minute to sync, but while we do that, let's see if there's any questions in the chat. I'll be able to address questions in the chat. I'm not too sure how long this will take. Takes too long, we'll have to navigate. Oh, okay, cool. Perfect timing, I guess. So it didn't take too long. So of course, we don't have any ETH or any tokens right now because it's a newly generated recovery phrase, right? I derive a whole new set of accounts, which we don't have any assets to. Okay, so let's just connect my work ledger so I can show you guys a few things. Of course, you guys go to accounts. There's going to be nothing here, right? So let's connect my work ledger. The work ledger I have is an X, but of course, like I mentioned before, these devices are going to be technically the same. The only difference is going to be the battery and Bluetooth. Okay, in terms of security, both these devices work the same. Okay, so let's connect our Nano X. Let's connect our Nano X, and like I said, put in the pin. 3, 4. Okay, so now let's go to Ledger Live. My ledger, let's make sure everything's updated. Okay, allow the ledger manager. Okay, cool. So Nano X, everything's updated. Let's install a few apps. Let's install Polygon. I do have some assets on the Polygon network where I can show you guys. Yep, and it'll just take a minute for the app to install on the device. Once it's installed, it'll say install. Now what you do is you go to the accounts tab and you go to add account. First, let's add ETH. So I can show you guys how NFTs look. All right. And it might take a little while as well. Last time it took like 4 minutes, so it's all good. While this is syncing, while ETH is syncing, I'll be able to address any questions. All right. So let's see. We have the green. How was it possible to get hacked? I get everyday phone calls from scammers. The green, if you secure your recovery phrase, right, a scammer's not going to be able to hack you unless they social engineer you into giving them your recovery phrase, right? So if anyone ever calls you asking for your recovery phrase, don't give it out, okay? Bitcoin for Canadians. And if you're referring to the data breach that has been addressed, you can look up more information on that on our website, okay? Bitcoin for Canadians, any ETA to adding Casper to Ledger asset purchase choices. Let me check for you. Let's see here. Let's see. And it also depends on where you live. Bitcoin for Canadians. I'm assuming you live in Canada. Some providers might support Caspa, but let me just double check if Caspa is a supported asset for buying. Gotcha. So it is not. There's no ETA on implementations on like available assets for to trade or buy within Ledger Live. Of course, I think the best possible route here, Bitcoins for Canadian, is to just buy your Caspa on an exchange that trades that asset and then just move it to. Let me see if we support Caspa actually. Okay, so Caspa. Okay, Caspa is its own chain, so I don't believe we support it just yet in Ledger Live. Let's see if we support it. Caspa. Yeah, so Caspa is its own chain. And let's see if there's any third-party wallets for you. Let me see. Yeah, so we don't support Caspa and Ledger Live, and we don't have any compatible third-party wallets with it just yet. So I would just hold on Caspa, Bitcoins for Canadian. Cool. So moving back to Ledger Live, we have finally been able to sync our accounts, add our accounts. Boom. All right. So as soon as you add your accounts, keep in mind, guys, Ledger Live is just a visualization tool. Okay. So what you guys see in here doesn't really matter. What I mean by that is Ledger Live sometimes, right, it's a software, so there's going to be limitations with all software. Sometimes there might be sync issues, like I mentioned. Sometimes there might be issues with displaying the wrong or correct or a inflated balance. You guys can always verify your assets and your balance on the blockchain, right? Basically, what Ledger Live does is helps you visualize this like a one-stop shop for all your assets, and it also allows you to manage your assets. Okay, so as far as viewing your assets go, NFTs, you guys can see NFTs will appear right here. You guys will be able to see this button. It's going to say see gallery. I don't have many NFTs on this specific account, so you guys can only see the brick in terms of latest operations. Not many operations here, right? But of course, what you can do is you guys can get the receive address and check on the block explorer. All right, so let's show you guys how tokens would look. As of right now, let's add the Polygon account. We support quite a bit of tokens in Ledger Live. Of course, if we don't support that token, you guys can manage it through a third-party wallet, okay? And of course, it's going to take a minute here. Let's open the Polygon app. This is going to sync. Let me address any questions that have came up. Can we convert from crypto to stable coins in Ledger? I think you're referring to Ledger Live. It depends. It really depends. If it is a ERC20 or any Polygon or BSC, yes, you can swap those to stable coins pretty easily. I don't know what coin or token you're trying to swap, so maybe let me know and I can give you a better answer. Okay, Bitcoin and Tether USDT. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There's a few providers out there. Changely being one of them. Changely isn't supported in the US. But if you live in an international, such as certain parts of Europe, Australia, you'll have to check, of course. But just head over to the swap tab, and yeah, you should be able to swap your Bitcoin to USDT pretty easily. All right, so I have 2 Polygon accounts. So you guys can see whenever you guys send tokens to an account, let's say I sent a token on Polygon to my Polygon wallet address, it will appear right under here, right? It'll say show tokens, and as you guys can see, these are the tokens that you that are supported on Polygons. You guys can see here. Of course, if you send any ERC20s, they'll appear under your ETH account, right? Pretty self-explanatory there. In terms of, let's see, let me click on this real quick. In terms of sending your assets is going to be pretty self-explanatory, of course. What you guys are going to need to do is have the device unlocked. You guys are going to go to accounts, pick the account you guys want, click send, and put the address on here. Okay, so let's just do a test transaction real quick. let's just do a test transaction. I'm gonna get the receive address to one of my Polygon accounts and move it to the next one, or to my second Polygon account. Okay, so Ledger Live is being a little laggy here. Okay, so we'll send Polygon from. Okay, let's just get the address of this one. Whenever you guys get the receive address, make sure you guys verify the whole address, right? There's this thing called address poisoning. Make sure you guys should look into it, but there's a lot of scams out in the crypto space, and the best practice is always to take your time with things, okay? So when I'm going through the process, the best practice here is I'm literally verifying like the first 7 and the last 7, okay? Before I was doing first 4, last 4. Now best practice is first 7, right? The first 7 um, numeric or letters of your or your wallet address and the last 7. Okay, so we can see 0x79F207. Last 7 is going to be C20107B, and on the device itself, you guys are going to have to verify it. Okay, 0x79F207. C20107B. Okay, so everything checks out. Everything is good. The reason why you guys want to verify on the device itself is because messages on the computer can be altered. Messages on the Ledger device itself cannot be altered, right? That's another benefit of owning the Ledger device, right? The private keys cannot be extracted from the Ledger device, as well as messages cannot be altered on the Ledger device. Okay, so now let's verify real quick. We're going to approve. It's going to send us to the next step in Ledger Live. Okay, next step in Ledger Live is address shared securely. I forgot to clipboard it for some reason on Mac. If you don't clipboard it, it doesn't copy for some reason. Okay, so let's just clipboard it. Make sure we verify 0x79F207 C20107B. Okay, let's go back to device. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Approved. All right, so let's go back to Ledger Live. We have the address. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to show you guys how to move one from one account to another. Keep in mind, all these accounts derive from the same recovery phrase besides this one, okay? What I mean, or besides Ethereum 1. This specific Ethereum 1 right here. Let's rename it for organizational sake. Ethereum 1, this was created from the Nano S Plus with a whole different recovery phrase, okay? Okay, and what I mean by that is if I go to this specific account, I click receive, look what, I'll show you guys what you guys will see. You guys will get an error message. Okay, of course, open Polygon. You guys are going to get an error message here in a second. It's going to say something went wrong. Please check that your hardware wallet is set up with the recovery phrase or passphrase associated to the selected account. Okay, what this message basically means is it means that when I was setting up the Nano S Plus earlier, right, I generated a recovery phrase. I mentioned early in the stream that I don't have any funds on this, so I have to switch to my work ledger. My work ledger has a a whole different 24-word recovery phrase. Like I mentioned before, all your 24-word recovery phrase derives a set of accounts, right? So like I said in Ledger Live, all transactions you will have to approve. If you don't have the correct recovery phrase associated with the account, you won't be able to access the account, right? So and I'll just show you guys real quick. This is a step that's very important. That's why it's like you want to secure your recovery phrase, right? Your 24-word recovery phrase. Don't do what I'm doing, but you want to secure in a location where for any time you get this message, you can look back and be like, oh, I may have 2 recovery phrase. It may be on this device. For those of you guys who, this issue is really common with people who have multiple recovery phrases, but you guys can look back and be like, oh, I have 2 recovery phrase. Maybe this account was created a long time ago and it was associated with this recovery phrase. All right. And I'll show you guys real quick on that error. So I'll plug in the S plus, right? S plus. Plus real quick, I just want to show you guys that error comes up, or we get contacted on that error, you know, quite a bit because it's really oh shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm in. Okay, so now we're gonna access this account and we will have no problem accessing the account because like I mentioned, the Nano S recovery phrase is associated with this account. See, as you guys can see, no error message. Okay, so just wanted to show you guys that real quick. Moving back, we'll connect our Nano X so I can move some assets around, show you guys how to move your assets around and receive properly. 2, 3, 4. Damn, this new pin setup got me a little messed up. Okay, cool. So let's go back to Ledger Live. See, we do have a few questions, so cool. I'll unlisted helpful videos. Thanks for the help. Thanks for the help. Let's see here. Let's move some funds from Polygon 2 to Polygon 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to click send. As you guys know, we copied on the clipboard earlier. Let's see here. It's a little delayed here. A little delayed. Cool. So as you guys can see, address matches. Click continue. This is just fees, amounts. You just want to set everything standard. We're just gonna send 3-matic. Gonna equivalent to $4.44 USD. Continue. Like I said before, all transactions do need to be approved on the Ledger device itself. You're moving assets around. Open Polygon app. So now, wait a second here. Now, when you're transferring assets, you will have to verify the address. You guys want to double check here? It's gonna take a second. Here. Cool. Just ask any questions you guys may have. I'm just gonna walk through this step real quick, and then for the last, I'll go on for another 20 minutes. For the last like 15 minutes, like end of the stream, I'll be able to address any questions you guys may have. Okay, so let's confirm the operation. When you guys are confirming the operation, it's just gonna look like this: amount, we're transferring 3-matic. This is the address we're moving to. Max fees, accept and send. Okay, when you guys click accept and send, the transaction will be broadcasted on the blockchain. Okay, and it may take a minute. With Polygon, it's pretty quick. With other networks, it's going to be very dependent on network traffic. Okay, so cool. Yep. So you can of course click view details, and now prompt you to the transaction history, or the transaction details here, transaction hash ID from to details here. We can see that 3-matic has left our account, and we can check in Polygon 1. It may take a minute here. Sometimes it may not appear right away. One thing you guys can always do is go to settings and go to help and click clear cache. When you guys clear cache, this will resync with the blockchain. And hopefully, when we do this, everything's updated. Let's see here. We should see. Oh, so like I said, we moved 3-matic from Polygon 2 to Polygon 1, and as you guys can see, everything's appearing just fine. Okay, so showed you guys how to view NFTs in Ledger Live, how to send, how to receive. The next thing I want to address is the Discover tab. Make sure you guys check this out. The Discover tab has quite a bit of dApps that are very cool. A few dApps are going to be for staking. A few dApps are going to be for DeFi. You can buy directly through Binance. You can also swap through a DEX. We do have a few swap, 1inch and pair swap. We have tax tools. We have OApps. We have quite a bit of stuff. I'm not going to go too in depth, but feel free. Go to Discover tab and check out all these different dApps. Rainbow Me is very cool to view your NFTs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, if you guys want to buy, you guys can go here, buy. You guys want to click compare providers and see which provider gives you the best rates and which provider is supported in your region, of course. But you guys can buy directly through or within Ledger Live. Makes the process pretty simple. You don't have to go through an exchange and move your assets around and get lost. Of course, if you have any issues, feel free to reach out to us. Be able to address that. You guys can also swap here. TL cards, check this out if this is something that interests you. Basically like a crypto debit credit card, okay? So that's basically as far as Ledger Live setup goes. I'm going to address questions now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple to use. Let's see what questions we have. I'll stick around for another 15 minutes. Cool. Question Dime. Let's see. Any updates on when Ledger Live can connect via Bluetooth to MetaMask mobile app? Yeah, Dimes, that's actually a great integration. I don't have a estimated ETA. I'm assuming with Ledger Connect, that'll probably be available. Ledger Connect. That I don't know if you heard of it, Dimes, but it's going to be rolling out pretty soon. I believe you can sign up for beta. Basically, it's going to be very similar to MetaMask. Let me see here. Cool. So, yep. Let me switch to. So yeah, if you want to sign up for the beta, you can read up more about it on how it works here. But yeah, you can definitely sign up for the beta if you want. Let me link this to you real quick. Dimes. I like your name, by the way. Do you throw dimes? No pun intended. All right. All right, Dimes. I linked you that. Feel free to check it out. But yeah, sign up for the beta. No problem. No problem. Um, do you throw dimes? You throw dimes in what? Football or basketball? See what else we got here. Kenny, yep. Question's been addressed. Do we have anything else? See what else I can show you guys while we wait. Yeah, I can show you guys a few other things since no one has any other questions. I'm going to show you guys a few cool features in Ledger Live. This isn't really feature. This is probably, you're going to probably click on it. You're not going to know about it. But a cool feature is, in my opinion, this password lock option. All right, this password lock option is going to be very important to those of you guys who have kids or have people that use your computer. Basically, what it does is it prompts, or here, let me just do it real quick. Let me just put a password lock on here and show you guys what I mean. So it's like every time you open up Ledger Live, you'll get a password. You'll have to enter in a password to access your accounts. Obviously, if you forgot your password, you can reset your Ledger Live and restore your accounts. Ah, got you, Dimes, got you. But yeah, let's close Ledger Live. I'm gonna close Ledger Live real quick, and I'm gonna reopen it. Show you guys what I mean by having a password. All right, so let's see. Boom. All right, so this is basically, like I said, pretty self-explanatory. But like I said, if you guys have kids or anything, or have people that are using your computer for whatever reason, you may not want them to access your Ledger Live and see your accounts. So this is a good option to have. Another option to have is discrete mode. If you put on discrete mode, you will hide your balance. This is a good mode for those of you guys who are getting tilted from the volatility of the market. You guys don't want to see how your portfolio is doing. A discrete mode and you're a hodler, discrete mode is perfect for you. Of course, make sure you turn it on if you do want to see your balance. Okay. So what else? What else? What else do we have? Yeah, we don't have much. I think I covered everything in terms of on a beginner level. Um, How to make a ticket, Christian? Sure, I'll show you how to make a ticket real quick. So let's go to Chrome, all right? So the way you're gonna reach out to us is you're gonna go to ledger.com and you're gonna go to support. When you're in this, yeah, there's quite a bit going on here. But when you're here, you can click contact us, new conversation, and just fill in, whatever issue you're having. And you have two options to reach out to us. You can reach out to us via email. Maybe you don't have time on your hands to speak to a live agent, but if you do have time on your hands, we do have live support on right now actually, so you can speak to a live agent. They'll be able to address any questions you may have. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Christian Dobris. Dobris. Cool, cool. But what else can I show you guys? Um, let's see here. Valentine's pair. Okay, yeah, I can show you guys this. For those of you guys who want to get a new device, we do have this cool limited edition Valentine's pair. Um, Feel free to check it out. Maybe you want to get your girlfriend into crypto. Feel free to check this out. Maybe she might get into crypto because it's a cute design. Who knows, right? Um, can't go wrong with that. All right, I might have to get my girlfriend one as well. Cool. See what else we have. Yes, Christian. Yes, the firmware is 2.1.0 for the Nano X. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See what else we have. Right. It was a great stream, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap it up in the probably the next 2 minutes. Once again, yes, Christian. Yes. Once again, guys, the stream went well. I think most questions got addressed. If you guys have any last minute questions, feel free to leave it in the chat. But yeah, we have these streams every Friday. These streams are gonna keep going. 2023, we're gonna obviously it's 2023, excuse me. But in the upcoming months, we do want to roll out some more intermediate and advanced streams to show you guys how to do more things and how to navigate through the crypto space. Of course, explain to you guys how more, explain to you guys how certain chains work. We do have some special agents that specialize in certain chains. I'm sure you guys are on it. That we'll set it sort of next. Yep. But yeah, probably one more minute and then I'll wrap it up. Make sure you guys check out our Ledger support page. Oh yeah, one thing before I go is if you guys are on Twitter, there's going to be a lot of impersonators, scammers out there. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream, but maybe you weren't here. You should never give out your recovery phrase to anyone, even in times of distress. There's going to be a lot of guys or people that contact you and they might say, hey, I can help you, recover your asset. Or if you're getting an error message on Ledger Live and you tweet us, maybe there might be a scammer that is impersonating us, reach out to you. Right. Never give out your recovery phrase. Like I mentioned before, Ledger will never ask for your recovery phrase. The only place you should ever put your recovery phrase or import your recovery phrase is on the Ledger device itself. Other than that, think twice before you do anything. And Christian Zobris, amazing stream and good contact with you guys is cool. Yep. Yeah, Christian. We also have Twitter Spaces every Tuesday as well. We also have it on the EU side. But if you're on U.S. time, we have the Twitter Space every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and that's more of you can come on stage. This is more of like you don't want to come on stage, you just want to ask your question, and I can visually show you and answer your question. Twitter Space is more of you come on stage and have an actual one-on-one conversation with us. We do have Twitch coming as well. But yeah, we have a lot of things in the works in 2023 in terms of offering multiple channels of support to you guys. So, yeah, top marks, amigo. Yep. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, great Friday. It was a great stream, of course. Feel free. Jim, okay, sorry if I missed it, but when Stacks, so Stacks is, if you pre-ordered it, Jim, Stacks is supposed to roll out probably late April. There may be delays, but yeah, as of right now, Stacks is sold out, so you won't be able to get it through our website, but you can buy the NFT, like the redemption token, probably on secondary. If you have any questions or need help with that, you guys can feel free to reach out to us on support, and one of our agents will guide you through that process on how to get one of those redemption tokens. Um, Stack soon, yep. But yeah, Stack should be coming in April, late April, May. Is buying only one Nano X good enough, or is two required for best security purpose? Lynn Casey, that's a great question, Lynn. One is perfectly fine. It's really up to you. Me personally, I think having two is best practice. So what I mean by that is maybe you have an X already, but if anything happened to the X, let's say it breaks or something happens, right, and you need immediate access to your assets, having a backup device is um, gonna allow you to do that. Obviously, all your devices are covered under the 2-year warranty as of right now. So if anything happens to them, you guys can reach out to us and we'll be glad to replace it. But if you live in the U.S., Len Casey, there is Best Buy. I don't know if there should be Best Buy near you that sells ledgers. So if anything happens, you can go to your local Best Buy and pop yourself a brand new ledger and then import your recovery phrase from your existing ledger to your new ledger. Um, yeah, you'll be good to go as far as restoring your accounts. But yeah, guys, it was a great stream. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your Friday, Friday night, Friday afternoon, Friday morning. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure if you guys need help with onboardings, come back next Friday, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific. We ran a little late today. Sorry for that, but yeah. Or if you guys want, you guys can play back. Um, yeah, but without further ado, I'm out of here, guys.